Okay, good morning. We are going to go over degrees of freedom today. Degrees of freedom is the ability that a joint has to move in separate planes. And so the greatest amount of mobility is 3 degrees of freedom in the human body, and that is most typified through the hips, where we have flexion and extension, we have adduction, abduction, and we have internal and external rotation. But there are other parts of the body that also have 3 degrees of freedom. That'll be your feet, that'll be your shoulders, and that'll be also the transitional segments in your spine. So that'll be occiput C1, it'll be C7 T1, T12 L1, L5 S1 in the spine. And why this is relevant is if you go, and also the shoulders, I can't forget the shoulders. The problem is if you don't get the motion and the load bearing into the hips, it will be compensated to one of these other areas. So that's why we're going to try to get all the work into the hips and make sure that hips are creating the motion and it's not some other part of your body where you have to compensate into, and it creates all sorts of problems. So we're going to look at how we can get work into the hips without cheating into some other body part, and that's what starts to happen. So even if we were to flip around, I want you to think about this and do a handstand. The shoulder becomes now the load-bearing joint, but we still have to be able to transfer the work from the shoulders to the hips. So everything has to end up in the hips. So if we can't get the hips to work, we start having a lot of problems. So that's what we're going to work on today, because if we can't do full range of motion of the hips and we don't have strength potential through the whole range of motion of the hips, we're going to compensate elsewhere. And that's where we're going to start today. We're going to start out with our feet parallel, hips width apart. Here's your ASIS, here's your pubic symphysis. Midway in between is hips width apart. We're going to push down big toe and the corresponding metatarsal head, outer force toes and corresponding metatarsal heads, but especially that pinky toe, and finally your heel. 1/3 the weight through the balls of your feet, 1/3 the weight through your toes, 1/3 the weight through your heels. That means 66% of the weight is forward in your foot. And now we're going to get our athletic ready position. We're going to bend our knees and make sure our knees go straight forward. Abs are nice and tight. We're creating that spring potential in the bottom. We're creating that lift through the top, and head stability and righting reflex on the very, very top. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummies, and here we go. We're going to just do squats right here. Not a big deal, but very important, because this is where shock absorption through the lower extremities and transfer into the hips are important. So again, we have 3 degrees of freedom in the ankles. We only have 1 degree of freedom in the knee, and then we have 3 degrees of freedom in the hips. And what that means is that we can take the work of our feet, and it allows us to immediately transfer a huge amount of information through the 1 degree of freedom, or a binary switch, into our hips. And that's what we have to be able to do. You're sucking in your tummy, shoulder blades are down, back. We're going to reassess several times. You're going to do a hip circle. See what it feels like to move through a hip circle. Feel what it feels like to use your core instead of your extremities. Stay in that athletic ready posture. Stabilize your head. Keep breathing. Opposite direction. Okay, we're going to do a little stretch before we start, just to make sure we can move different parts of our body. Ball of your foot goes on the block, heel goes down, abs are nice and tight, you're sucking in your tummy. Pump those hips forward. Jaws relaxed, see what everything feels like. You're breathing, you're sucking in that tummy, shoulder blades are down and back, you're moving through your hips without clenching your butt. Keep breathing. Okay, we're gonna go side to side. You want to make sure you go the same amount in each direction, that you go to the left as much as you go to the right. Your abs are sucked in. Your head's almost motionless. because we gotta make sure the hips can move. Okay, good. We're gonna switch sides. Cool. Notice if one side's tighter than the other, abs are nice and tight, we're gonna pump those hips forward. Suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. Oh, just as a reminder, there will be no class on Saturday. So you can watch one of the videos. I'll send out a reminder as well. Abs are nice and tight.
20.
Okay, side to side. You should not feel any pain in any joint. That includes your low back or your SI joints, because your abs are stabilizing, your cores are stabilizing. We're working muscles and not joints. Here. Okay, good.
Oh, we did 20.
We did?
Yeah, we did 20.
Okay. Try not to move your head all around. Suck in that tummy.
10.
Okay. So, we know the hips can move now. So this is kind of where we're gonna start. We're gonna see what the hips can do and what they can do. And if you have troubles with any of these, you're probably compensating somewhere else in your body. So we're gonna start out with basic hip flexion. You're just gonna bring your knee above the level of your hips. You're gonna do this from your abs, so sucking that tummy, shoulder blades down and back, and you're just gonna bring it back down. You're gonna lift and lower. As you lift up, notice our toes are pointing down. They're not pointing forward. We wanna get out of that bad habit because that'll break toes as soon as you start walking on uneven surfaces. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. Good, we're gonna switch sides. Same thing on the opposite side. Your abs are engaged. You're gonna lift your knee above the level of your hip. Your abs are engaged. We're using the appropriate muscles. Those are your abs and your hip flexors. We are not using our shoulders and our neck or our knee. Good. Now we're gonna take that same, or opposite leg now, and we're gonna take it out to the side. Toes gonna point down, abs are nice and tight. Feel the full rotation of your hip. Suck in your tummy. Starting to get warm in here. Good. See if you feel this in your hips. See if your hips are having no problems with this. There we go. We're going to lift this side. Feet go back parallel. Out to the side. Watch the alignment of the standing leg always. We don't want to see that knee wobbling all over the place, because that's putting excessive motion into a joint that only has 1 degree of freedom. Abs are engaged. Good. Now, I want to turn on the air conditioning. You're going to take your right leg back behind you. It's going to be bent like you see how it looks like a number 4. Square out your hips forward. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to bring your knee back along with your foot. Abs are engaged. You're sucking in your tummy. You should be working your butt muscle right now. This is your glute max. Suck in that tummy. Okay. Oh, oops. Okay. I like that motion. It felt good. Make that number 4 again. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. And take it back behind you. Really make your butt work. Keep your abs engaged. No pressure in your low back. If you feel this in your low back, you have somehow turned off your abs.
Good.
Okay. Okay, keep it even. Okay, so here we start. Now I know you guys are warmed up. Abs are engaged, sucking your tummy, feet are parallel. I'm gonna put my roller off this side. Legs out in front of you. You're gonna do figure 8s. Suck in your tummy, shoulder blades are down back, head's over the top of your body. You should feel this in your quad, you should feel this in your abs, or you should not feel it is in your left knee. Okay, switch sides. Figure 8, abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy, abs, quads. Good. Now, we're gonna take our leg out 45 degrees. Suck in your tummy, get that knee alignment. Same thing, figure 8. Whew. Abs. Feel your hips and your legs and your abs. Okay, figure 8. Abs are engaged. Lift it up higher than you think you would. Okay, good. Now you're gonna take your leg out 90 degrees to your body. Chest is up, abs are engaged. Figure 8. Oops. Okay, good. Other side. You should feel your butt working really well now. Abs are engaged. Suck in that tummy. Good. Now you're taking your leg back behind you about 45 degrees. Do you have enough space?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Figure 8. You should feel your butt working. Because this is really telling you if you have a weakness of your butt.
10.
Okay. 45 degrees back behind you. Abs are nice and tight. Knees over top of your foot. Suck in that tummy. Something smells really good.
10.
Okay. Now last position, you're going to take that leg directly behind you. Your hips are going to be level. So it's not open like this, but closed. Legs straight back behind you. Lead with your heel, figure 8. You should feel your butt working, feel your abs working. Suck that tummy in. No pressure in your low back.
10.
Okay, switch sides. Suck in that tummy, knees over the top of your foot. Hips circle, or figure 8s, figure 8s. Abs. Suck in that tummy. Hips are square. Smiles are up, chest is up. And good. Now we're going to cross midline. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. Figure 8. So we're just looking at all the different angles that we need to be able to use the hip.
10.
Okay. This side, same thing. You should feel your butt cheeks working and your abs working together to support your butt cheeks so nothing goes into your low back. Okay, we forgot one. We're going to go back and get it. Front across midline. Abs are nice and tight. Figure 8. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulders are square. We're switching sides. Watch the alignment of your standing leg. Smiles are up. Sucking that tummy.
10.
Okay, good. Whew. We have made it through a cycle. So those are all the motions of your hip. If it felt excessively hard, you are compensating in some other part of your body. We're going to stand on our right foot, take our left foot back behind us, bend that front knee, and now we're going to look at it again. We're going to hinge forward, push your hips back, abs are nice and tight, no pressure in your low back, knees over the top of your foot. We're starting out with our sit-ups, sucking that tummy, and then release. Sucking that tummy, and then release. Keep breathing. Keep that front leg bent, chest up.
10.
Okay, now keep your abs sucked in. You're gonna lower your hip down, and then you're gonna lift your hip up. Watch the alignment of your knee, it doesn't change. This is all hip motion. Suck in that tummy, don't let it hang out, keep your spine straight. What number are we on?
10.
Okay, good. Keep your hips in the low position. You're gonna stretch forward and then come back out. Keep the hip in that lowest position, keep your abs engaged. Smiles are up. Front knee is bent. Your heel is off the ground. Suck in that tummy. Okay, now we're gonna open that hip back up like we did before, sucking that tummy. You're gonna put your roller underneath your right hand this time. Your left hand's back behind you, you're gonna hinge forward and then come back out, sucking that tummy. Chest up. Keep breathing.
10.
Okay, let's switch sides. Ooh. Okay, legs back behind you. Front knee is bent, knees over the top of your foot. Your feet are parallel, shoulder blades are down and back. No pressure in your low back because we're working muscles. Here we're gonna start out with our sit-ups. Sucking that tummy and release. Sucking that tummy and release. Keep going. Sucking that tummy and release. Change the shape of your abdomen. Okay, from here, I forgot what we did. We did,
Open.
Lift lower. You're gonna lower down, and you're gonna lift up, you're gonna keep your abs engaged. Your hips are doing the work, not your shoulder. You feel all the work in this left butt cheek, watch the alignment of that left knee. Sucking that tummy, there's no point where your abs shut off. Okay, now we're gonna go into lowest position. Abs are sucked in. You're gonna hinge forward, come back up. Should be a nice load into your left glute max. Smiles are up. You're breathing.
10.
Good. Now you're gonna lift that hip high, 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 high up. You're gonna put the roller underneath your left hand. Your right hand goes back behind you. You're sucking in your tummy as you go forward. Suck that tummy in. Oh. Suck in that tummy.
10.
And good. Come back onto 2 feet. We are going to reassess your hip circle. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulder blades are down and back. First, second, third chakras are on. Hip circles. So if I haven't mentioned it before, your first chakra is your pelvic floor, second chakra is your lower abs, third chakra is your upper abs. We're going to try to keep those all engaged as we keep our shoulder blades down and back. Opposite direction. Okay, we're going to try this next piece in 3 positions. It's really easy, so don't put it into any part of your body that shouldn't have experienced it, like joints. Okay, we're going to start with our feet parallel. We're going to hinge forward and then come back up. Keep your abs engaged, suck in that tummy. We're just doing a little hinge. You don't have to go far. You do have to keep your spine straight though. And we're going to find out your behavior. Are you a toe inner or a toe outer? Or a feet paralleler? Because whatever's the easiest is the one you do most often. How many is that?
9.
Okay, now you're going to turn your feet out. Abs are nice and tight, shoulder blades are down and back. Same thing, straight spine. We're making sure we can use our hips, not our knees, not our ankles, not our low back, not our neck, not our shoulders, but our hips. Suck that tummy in. Notice when your abs shut off. If your abs shut off, that means you're not using the right parts of your body and you're transferring. Okay, now we're going to toe in. Okay, same thing. Hinge forward, come back up. So whatever's the easiest is the one that you use under maximal load. The one that was actually the most difficult is the one that you tend to do when you're lazy. Smiles are up. Straight spine. And good. Feet parallel once again. Hip circles. Chest up, shoulder blades down and back, abs nice and tight. Head remains in between your feet. Go in the opposite direction. Okay. Continuing just to stretch. Gonna make sure we can bend the knee. Left knee's on the block, right leg's forward. Head is over top of the block. Smiles are up. You're sucking in your tummy, shoulder blades down and back, hip circles again. This is athletic ready movement because your hips are in motion, your legs are bent, and your head is remaining still. Suck in that tummy. Harder than you think. Engage it more than you think. Opposite direction. Keep breathing. Okay, good. We're going to stretch forward, and come back. Just stretch forward, open things up, keep your abs engaged, suck in that tummy. See what Maria's doing? That deep stretch she's getting on her left hip flexor? That's what we want. Okay, abs are nice and tight. We're going to stay in this position. We're going to look at hip motion. You're allowed to use a roller on this one. Foot comes up off the ground, you're going to do a hip circle. Make sure the circle is round. Your foot is off the ground. This foot's off the ground. Opposite direction. Abs are engaged. Notice what your balance feels like. Okay, you're gonna try it once without the roller. Hands are in, stick them up, foot comes off the ground. You're gonna do hip circles. It's okay if you bobble.
Abs in.
Abs are in. Just see what it feels like to do a hip circle. Okay, good, let's switch sides. Abs are in. Yeah, my abs were in.
We're gonna have to get a side cam.
Side cam. We don't need a side cam. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up, head is over top of block, hip circles. So you're finding out how important it is to be able to do a hip circle, because a hip circle is every motion of the hip. And if you can't do a hip circle, you're compensating somewhere else in your body. Suck in that tummy.
Wait.
Opposite direction.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Wasn't sure. Keep breathing. Make it nice and circular. Keep your head still. Seems longer on this side. You sure? Okay.
20.
Okay, we're gonna stretch forward and back. Open up that hip flexor on the right side. Suck in that tummy. We're doing all this to make sure you have 3 degrees of freedom in your hip, because the hip is the most powerful joint in the body. It is also a weight loading joint. So as you lose strength around the hips, you really break down in other places in your body.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now we're gonna do it. You're gonna hold on to the roller this time. Your foot comes up off the ground. You're gonna do hip circles. You should feel no pressure in your knee. If you feel pressure in your knee, pull it back into your hip. If you feel it in your back or your neck, pull it back into your hip.
10.
Opposite direction. It's okay to bobble and weave. This is the time to do it. Not when you're walking along a cliff's edge or a beam or something. Now we're going to try it without our hands. Hands and stick them up. Ready? Here we go. Hip circles, hip circles, hip circles, hip circles. Foot stays off the ground. Abs stay engaged. You're holding your balance. And good. Enough of that nonsense. Okay, we're going to come into kneeling. Again, we stretch the quads. Abs are nice and tight. Your toes are pointed back behind you, as you can see from Maria. This should probably scoop towards me a tiny bit. There we go. We're just going to hinge back. We're going to do sit-ups. You're going to suck in your tummy and release. Suck in your tummy and release. Change the shape of your abdomen. Okay, now bring your knees up off the ground. Suck in your tummy, release. Suck in your tummy, release. This will stretch out the muscles on the front side of your shin and your foot. Because we don't want those to get overly tight, because you end up banging your toes and falling off balance backwards a lot. Okay, now we're going to curl our toes under. Whew. If you feel excessive pressure in your toes, push your heels back. I'll take the pressure out. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. And here we go. We're going to lean back. Sucking in your tummy and releasing. Sucking in your tummy. You should feel stretch on your quads. No pressure in your low back because you're tightening your abs. No pressure in your toes. If you do, push your heels back. Suck in your tummy.
10.
Okay, now you're gonna push your hips forward, suck in your tummy, and release. Ugh. Make the tummy go away. Go away!
10.
Okay. Point your toes again, back behind you. We're gonna do some sit-ups here that don't seem like sit-ups, but if you do them correctly, seem like intense sit-ups. Your hands go on your knees. You squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. Push down on your knees. Now, you're gonna suck in your first, second, third chakras. You're gonna try to bring your navel to your spine, suck in your tummy, then release. Keep pushing down, keep sucking in your tummy and releasing. Keep your chest up. Keep your eyes up. We're gonna do 20 of these.
Long neck.
Long neck.
Chest up.
Yes, just like I was doing. That's why Maria's pointing it out. Suck in that tummy. Change the shape of your abdomen.
10.
Okay, good. We're gonna have a seat on the floor on our butts. Or should we do pelvic floor first? Let's do pelvic floor. There's my ball.
Right behind you.
Okay. Ball on top of block. Okay, yeah. Ball's midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Abs are nice and tight, chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back. Head is over the top of the ball. That's probably the most important part. Okay, now you're gonna tighten your pelvic floor, close up your rib cage, tighten your abs. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Change the shape of your abdomen. Not only change the shape of your abdomen, tighten your pelvic floor, release. Squeeze, release. Really feel what it feels like to squeeze your pelvic floor in all portions of it.
20.
Good. We're gonna take our right leg forward. Same thing, we're gonna squeeze, release, release. Really feel what it feels like to tighten your pelvic floor and then release it. Tighten your abs and release it.
10.
Good. Now, left hand goes forward, right hand goes back. You're gonna lift up that leg, lower it back down. Lift lower, lift lower. It should be from your abs. Chest up.
10.
Oh. So there's a man I follow on Instagram. He's a martial artist and he's got to be in his late 60s and he's in awesome shape. And the reason why he looks like he's in awesome shape is A, he's got flexibility.
Squeeze.
Squeeze that pelvic floor, suck in your tummy, shoulder blades are down and back, is because he can stand up straight. And then he can flex his spine, and then he could easily stand up straight again. So he looks athletically agile.
10.
Okay, right hand forward, left hand back. Abs are nice and tight. Lift and lower. See what it feels like to lift this foot up and lower back down. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Hold that balance. Good. We're bringing both legs forward now. Abs are nice and tight. Shoulder blades are down and back. Chest is up. Suck in your tummy, tighten your pelvic floor, release. Suck everything in, release. Feel what it feels like to suck in that tummy. What it feels like to draw your shoulder blades down and back. Very nice. Hands and stick them up. Everyone's favorite, we're gonna bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. Ballistic strengthening of pelvic floor. I want you to lean forward slightly, but keep your chest up. Suck in that tummy. And you can do what Maria's doing and move around on top of that ball. That way you catch every division of your pelvic floor. Make sure it's firing up. Stay off your tailbone. Go in the opposite direction now. In the Maria dance. Okay, good. All right, now we're gonna have a seat on the floor. You're gonna need your block. You won't need your ball. The block's gonna go out in front of you. You can start out with it in between your legs. Okay, hands going to stick them up. And now we're gonna put that block mainly, okay, you can do it like this. Put it underneath your right leg, okay? Abs are engaged, because what we're gonna do is lift and lower over the top of the block. Suck in your tummy, your abs are working. Really keep your abs sucked in.
Chest up, long neck.
What number is that?
9, 10.
Okay, we are switching sides. So put that block underneath your left leg. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy. Lift up tall, abs engaged. Here we go.
Abs in,
They are.
chest up,
They are.
long neck.
It is.
10.
Okay, good. Let us stretch forward now. Do, 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 do. Okay, you're gonna bring your leg in. That's your left leg in to your hip. This is gonna get a lot harder. Leg goes on top of the block, just so you know you can clear it. You gotta get some flexibility going on, suck in that tummy. We're gonna lift and lower again, out to the side.
Abs in,
There you are.
chest up,
It is,
long neck.
very much so. Smiles are up. Okay, switch sides. If you don't know how to lift your leg up, guess what? You're gonna trip. So we don't like tripping. All right, here we go. Since everyone's ready now. Wait, let me angle this correctly. And here we go. Lift up and over.
Abs in, chest up,
Yes, they are.
long neck.
It is. What number?
10.
Okay, good. Bring both legs in as you stretch. Chest is up, shoulder blades are down and back, sucking that tummy.
Keep your pelvic floor lifted, abs in,
Long old neck.
chest up.
Okay, we're gonna use our blocks behind us if you have short arms only. You're gonna take your ball now, you're gonna put it in between your feet. This is why you might need your blocks if you have short arms. You're gonna pull your feet in. You're gonna use it to elongate your spine. Woo. Suck in that tummy, chest is up. This is opening up your adductors. Stretch, try to get your knees to the ground. So really drive your knees down as your heart lifts up. Suck in that tummy. What were you saying about the pelvic floor and the abs?
Keep the pelvic floor engaged. Squeeze that belly button towards your spine. Pull the shoulder blades down and back, chest up, long neck. And breathe.
Okay. Put the ball in between your knees now. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Squeeze the ball, chest is up. This is working those adductors we just stretched. After this, everything that we've done, your legs and pelvic floor will feel a little bit wobbly. It's actually on, which is good.
Abs in, chest up, long neck.
Yeah. I was just demonstrating.
20.
Okay, good. All right. Put the ball in the small of your back. Ooh, and move the microphone first. Since we already know how to do this, we're going to do this proper. We're going to elongate our spine, long neck, abs nice and tight. You're going to suck in your tummy and you're going to try to pop that ball. Keep breathing. Change the shape of your abdomen. Really try to go after activating deep muscles instead of superficial muscles. Smiles are up. Good. Bend your knees, same thing. Suck in your tummy. Try to pop the ball. Long neck.
10.
Okay, release your hands off the ground. We're going to do our Bruce Lee punches. To the right, to the left. Left hand goes to the right, right hand goes to the left. You're sucking in your tummy each motion. Your arms don't bend or straighten. They stay fixed as you move through your abs. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to straighten your legs. Same thing, suck in your tummy. Keep breathing. Smiles are up. Okay, good. You're gonna lean back over top of your ball and roller. You're gonna rock from side to side. Now, if you feel this in your low back, that means you accidentally used your psoas muscle. If you feel it in front of your hips, that means you accidentally used your iliacus muscle, or even your rectus femoris. If you feel it down the center in what would be your six pack, that is your rectus abdominis, and that is a great thing. Rock from side to side to loosen things up. Keep your abs engaged, even though your spine's being pushed forward. Okay. Bend your knees, put the ball underneath your sacrum. Legs go up in the air. We're going to do some toe action. Spread your toes, bring your toes together. Spread your toes, bring them together. Just feel what it feels like to spread your toes without spreading your fingers or your nostrils. Keep your abs engaged. Okay, now you're going to go into what's called plantar flexion, only your toes are going to go to your nose. And then you're going to go into what's called dorsiflexion, and then your toes are going to face the ceiling. So ankles away, toes to nose, ankle towards, toes away. Just go back and forth. Keep breathing. Foot should absolutely be able to do this. This is what we do jumping. You lose this coordination, all of a sudden you don't like jumping. Okay, now we're going to reverse it. We're going to point our toes and point our ankles. And then we're going to curl our toes, lift up our toes. Just going back and forth, lift and curl, lift and curl. You should notice that it's getting harder as it goes on because your feet and your ankles are used to getting blood supply just from gravity. Now your heart has to actually pump blood to your extremities that are hanging out in the air. Okay, good. So this is a great way of decompressing the legs. Abs are nice and tight. All we're gonna do is a little jog slow. Abs are engaged, suck in that tummy. Remember, I said the knees only do one thing. This is the one thing they do. They should do this pain-free and without aberrant motion. So if you feel discomfort, figure out what muscles you have to turn on. If you have aberrant motion, see what you have to stabilize. Nice and slow. Okay, good. Now we're just gonna double time it to a walk. Not much faster. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Really investigate knee motion. Okay, feet on the ground, legs are straight. You're gonna rock from side to side. Feel what it feels like to keep your abs engaged. Notice if you feel it in the rectus abdominis, or do you feel it in your back or your hips? Good job, everyone. Lay flat back against the ground. See what the ground feels like underneath you. You're going to be breathing. Okay, from here, you're gonna lay on your roller lengthwise, butt at one end, head at the other end. You should feel your hips today because you have used your hips today. If you feel some other part of your body, that means that's where your hips were not strong enough and you cheated it into another part of your body. Typically, that's the neck and shoulders. We were talking to someone yesterday who does work from home, and she's been doing her laptop computer on the sofa, which is a nightmare. None of you should ever do that. What it does is it causes you around your shoulders, turn off your abs and start clenching your butt. So in doing so, you work transfer that should be happening through your core into your shoulders. So she says, oh yeah, her neck gets really tight and she has boulders in her shoulders. Well, that is happening because of the way she's sitting. This should have opened everything and all the work back to your hips so you don't have compensation and work going into inappropriate areas, so you don't feel like you have one hard shoulder or your neck hurts or your jaw hurts or your elbow hurts or your knee hurts or your foot hurts. Just breathe. First, second, third chakras are on. As you're laying on the roller, feel what it feels like to draw your shoulder blades down and back, to have your head over the top of your pelvic floor and your abs engaged. We are in an athletic ready position. But once you're here, notice how easy it is to find your center. Because in athletic ready position, you are in your center and inches away from meditation. So we're supposed to be in athletic ready position with everything we do. So if you're washing the dishes, downhill skiing, surfing, mountain climbing, all those things are done in athletic ready posture. You start losing athletic ready posture, you come out of your center and you move further away from meditation. So just continue to lay here and feel what it feels like to be close to athletic ready posture, your center, and then just find your way to meditation as you breathe. You guys continue to stay on your roller. I'm going to sit up to bring you guys home. So everything we do, we should have access to meditation because we have access to our center, because we're activating athletic ready posture. So on behalf of Maria and me, we would like to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing and open. Thank you for trying the crazy things we ask you to do. Thank you for being supportive. We appreciate you so very much. Namaste.
Namaste.